Welcome to a programming exam solution tutorial number 3, where we're going to be looking at a type present check validation for the coordinate input. So at the moment, if we do anything other than an integer, including absolutely nothing, then an exception is thrown. We're going to add a check to make sure that only integers are allowed. We're going to use a try-catch statement, which is the best way of avoiding exceptions, and we're still going to need a do loop which checks the valid move. Let's quickly look at the code. So here's the current get move coordinates, and what we need to do is embed that within a try-catch statement. So there we go, and let's move that inside there. So now if any of this code throws an exception, anything I put in here will be run. So let's quickly do a console dot write line, and let's just say something like only integers may be entered for coordinates. Perfect. That seems to be pretty reasonable. And at the moment this would sort of work. Annoyingly, if this did throw an exception, it would run this line and then carry on. So what we need to do is basically create a loop that doesn't let it leave this procedure until we've definitely got a valid move. So I'm going to declare valid move again. Valid move as, and obviously this is the variable identifier that we've used elsewhere for this purpose, but this will only have local scope. And I'm going to set up a do loop. Oops. And let's get rid of that. And I'm going to put the whole thing within a do loop. Control V, and we're going to loop until valid move equals true. So now we're not going to be able to escape this procedure until valid move. I ought to set valid move equal to true at the start, actually. Valid move equals true there, and that's within the loop, so that will get set to true every time. And I ought to set it to equal false here. Valid move equals false. So just so you can see what I've done, if an exception is thrown, valid move is set to false, and therefore the loop will run again. At the start of every loop, valid move is equal to true. So if this bit of code is run and thus this bit isn't, then we should exit the loop. So if we get valid coordinates, we should be fine. Let's quickly run that and see if I've missed anything. I obviously have. It's whinging. Oh, I know what it is. I actually left a load of code at the bottom just to remind me. It wasn't anything I've typed in, it's just the stuff that I just left at the bottom to remind me what I was typing in here. Sorry about that. So let's have a quick look. It's going to debug and pop up. And Joe, Bob, X. Right. Let's try a good one first. Absolutely fine. Let's try one of them being rubbish. Oh, no, didn't like that. So let's try the other one. Let's try a good one again, just to make sure that's fine. It is. Now let's try the other one being rubbish. Wibble. Oh, obviously throws an exception straight away. Let's try one. Wibble again. Let's try two. Wibble. I'm pretty sure that's all the possibilities. Let's just do a good one just so we make sure that the code's still running fine. That seems to be handling it pretty well. So just to quickly recap what this actually was doing. We've got a loop. We've got a loop that keeps it within the procedure until there's a valid move. we obviously set the valid move to true. We've then got a try catch statement that A stops the exception happening, but B sets valid move to false if there was an exception, which means that we've got to retype in the code. Nearly 5 minutes, too long.